In 1788, 100,000 Austrian soldiers fought a savage battle through the dead of night. Thousands were killed. Hundreds lay wounded in the mud. The enemy was relentless, overwhelming, everywhere. Except there was no enemy. The Austrian Imperial Army had spent an entire night annihilating itself, triggered by a drunken argument over schnapps. And here's the thing, that is not even close to the dumbest thing a leader has ever done. From a dictator who declared war on America and awarded himself a medal for winning, to one man who personally destroyed the ozone layer. These are the 22 dumbest leaders in history, and the disasters they caused. Power, it turns out, doesn't cancel stupidity, it amplifies it. Throughout history, the people holding the most authority have made some of the most catastrophically idiotic decisions imaginable. And the rest of humanity paid the price, sometimes for generations. So let's count them down. 1. The Battle of Caransebes was a military disaster, just not one caused by the enemy. In 1788, Austrian cavalry found Serbian merchants selling schnapps near the front and immediately started drinking. When infantry arrived demanding a share, a brawl erupted. Someone screamed, "Turks!" as a prank. The 100,000-man army panicked, opened fire on each other, and scattered into the darkness. The actual Ottomans arrived 2 days later to find thousands of Austrian casualties, and no one left to fight. 2. Thomas Austin just missed rabbit hunting. He was a British settler in Australia who longed for chasing rabbits through English countryside. So in 1859, he imported 24 of them. The introduction of a few rabbits could do little harm, he said. Within decades, hundreds of millions were stripping Australia bare, triggering one of the worst ecological disasters in recorded history. A 3,000-kilometer fence was built to contain them. It failed. Australia is still fighting Thomas Austin's homesickness today. 3. The Hindenburg was a marvel. 245 meters of transatlantic luxury, the pride of Nazi Germany. It was also filled with 200,000 cubic meters of highly flammable hydrogen. It didn't have to be. Helium was safer and available, but political tensions made importing it from America impossible. Leadership chose hydrogen. On May 6, 1937, the Hindenburg caught fire approaching Lakehurst, New Jersey, and burned to its frame in 34 seconds. 36 people died from a decision made in a conference room. 4. Idi Amin, dictator of Uganda, declared war on the United States in 1978. America did not respond. The White House issued no statement. The Pentagon made no plans. The American public continued its day. Amin, undeterred, announced a Ugandan victory, organized celebrations, and awarded himself a medal for defeating the most powerful military on Earth. He then sent Jimmy Carter a telegram wishing him well. Carter did not reply. 5. On the night of April 14, 1912, the crew of the SS Californian watched distress rockets climbing into the sky from a nearby vessel. They reported them to Captain Stanley Lord at least 5 times. Lord chose not to investigate. He went to sleep. The ship firing those rockets was the Titanic. It sank over the next 2 hours and 40 minutes, taking 1,500 people to the bottom of the Atlantic. The Californian was close enough to have reached it in time. 6. In May 1940, Germany invaded France. France had comparable tanks, comparable artillery, and in some areas more men. It should not have collapsed. But French Supreme Commander Maurice Gamelin had a policy. No radios, no telephones. All orders traveled by motorcycle courier. In a fast-moving war, this meant commands arrived hours, sometimes a full day, too late. German columns moved faster than Gamelin's messengers. France fell in 6 weeks. Gamelin lost a country to a no-phone policy. 7. In 1958, Mao Zedong declared war on sparrows. The birds ate grain, making them enemies of the state. Hundreds of millions of citizens chased sparrows without stopping until the birds dropped dead of exhaustion. An estimated 1 billion sparrows were eliminated. What Mao hadn't accounted for, sparrows also ate locusts. Without their predator, locust populations exploded and crops across China were devastated. The resulting famine folded into the Great Leap Forward, killed between 15 and 55 million people. 8. Tsar Nicholas II's coronation in 1896 was designed as a celebration of imperial magnificence. It included a public gathering at Kodinka Field, where free gifts were promised to ordinary Russians. Poor planning created a stampede. Over 1,300 people were crushed to death. Nicholas was informed that same evening. He attended a gala ball at the French embassy anyway, danced until midnight, and continued the celebrations as scheduled. Russians didn't forget. Nicholas II was executed by his own people 22 years later. 9. Thomas Migley Jr. was one of the most decorated chemists of the 20th century. He was also, almost certainly, the single most environmentally destructive individual who ever lived. In 1921, he invented leaded gasoline, pumping neurotoxic lead into the atmosphere for decades, damaging entire generations. Then in 1930, he invented CFCs, the chemicals that tore a hole in the Earth's ozone layer. One man, two inventions, two global catastrophes. Historians describe him as having more atmospheric impact than any other single organism in history. 10. Italian General Luigi Cadorna launched 11 consecutive offensives along the Sonzo River during World War I. Everyone failed. Rather than questioning his tactics, Cadorna concluded the problem was cowardice. His solution was decimation, executing every 10th soldier by lottery, regardless of conduct. Innocent men were shot in front of their units. Morale did not improve. The 12th offensive ended in catastrophe at Caporetto, where 300,000 Italian soldiers were captured in a single engagement. Cadorna blamed his men. 11. In October 1940, Benito Mussolini invaded Greece without telling Hitler, because he was tired of being overshadowed by German victories. The Greek army pushed Italian forces back into Albania within weeks. Hitler, furious, diverted divisions southward to rescue Mussolini, delaying the Soviet invasion by critical weeks. Many historians argue those lost weeks meant German forces reached Moscow as winter arrived. One man's vanity may have cost Germany the entire Eastern Front. 12. Mobutu Sese Seko, dictator of the Democratic Republic of Congo, enjoyed shopping in Paris. His solution? Build a supersonic-capable runway in Gbadolite, a remote jungle village, capable of landing a Concorde. While his country ranked among the world's poorest, Mobutu surrounded the runway with marble palaces stocked with imported furniture and French wine. The Concorde actually landed there. The Congo, meanwhile, had no functioning road network. The contrast became a defining image of absolute kleptocracy. 13. Napoleon Bonaparte had conquered most of Europe. Brilliant, adaptable, arguably the greatest military mind of his age. Then in June 1812, he marched 680,000 soldiers into Russia. The Russians retreated, burning everything. French forces pushed into an empty, scorched continent with no supply lines. When winter arrived, Napoleon turned back. He retreated with roughly 100,000 men. The Grande Armée, the largest force ever assembled, had effectively ceased to exist in under 6 months. 14. Roman Emperor Caligula reportedly appointed his horse, Incitatus, to the position of consul, one of the highest offices in Rome. Whether this was madness or a calculated insult to the Senate remains debated. What isn't debated, Caligula housed the horse in a marble stable, fed it oats mixed with gold flakes, gave it servants, and invited it to official state dinners. Rome's most powerful senators sat across a table from a horse and pretended it was governance. Under Caligula, it essentially was. 15. At Balaclava in 1854, British cavalry received an order to advance and capture artillery. The order was vague. The messenger delivered it incorrectly. 670 horsemen charged into a valley flanked on 3 sides by Russian cannon. Every officer who could see the guns knew it was suicidal. They charged anyway. 278 men were killed or wounded in under 20 minutes. Lord Raglan, who gave the order from a hilltop, watched the entire engagement and reportedly seemed surprised. 16. Otto von Bismarck spent decades building alliances that kept Germany surrounded by partners, specifically to prevent a two-front war. In 1890, Kaiser Wilhelm II, 31 years old and convinced of his own genius, fired him. Wilhelm let the treaties lapse, antagonized Britain, and pushed Russia toward France. 24 years later, Germany was fighting a two-front war against the exact coalition Bismarck had spent his career preventing. Wilhelm didn't cause World War I. He just dismissed the man who was stopping it. 17. In 1912, amateur archaeologist Charles Dawson announced the discovery of Piltdown Man, a fossilized skull representing the missing link between apes and humans, found conveniently in England. The scientific establishment embraced it. It was British, ancient, and confirmed exactly what national pride demanded. For 41 years, it shaped research and built careers. In 1953, it was exposed as fraud, a medieval skull fused to an orangutan jaw, artificially stained to look ancient. 4 decades of science derailed by one fabrication. 18. In April 1961, Kennedy approved a CIA plan to overthrow Castro using 1,400 Cuban exiles. The plan required air support. At the last moment, Kennedy canceled the air cover to preserve plausible deniability. The invasion force landed at the Bay of Pigs and was immediately overwhelmed. The operation collapsed in 3 days. 1,200 men were captured. Castro used the failed invasion as propaganda for 3 decades. Kennedy privately called it the worst decision of his presidency. 19. General George Armstrong Custer was bold, aggressive, and constitutionally incapable of caution. At Little Bighorn in June 1876, he led 268 soldiers into a valley containing between 1,500 and 2,500 Lakota and Cheyenne warriors. Scouts warned him the encampment was enormous. Custer dismissed them, divided his outnumbered force, and attacked without reinforcements. His entire battalion was annihilated. Not one soldier under his direct command survived. It became one of the most complete military defeats in American history. 20. By 1775, Britain's American colonies had been sending petitions and grievances to London for years. King George III declared them an open rebellion and sent troops. His advisors warned that compromise would preserve the empire. George refused, certain that firmness would crush the uprising. Instead, it unified the colonies, drew in French military support, and ended with Britain losing 13 territories in a war it had every structural advantage to win. The empire's long decline started here. 21. In July 64 AD, fire broke out near Rome's Circus Maximus and burned for 9 days, destroying 10 of the city's 14 districts. Emperor Nero was absent when it started, but suspicion followed him home. According to Tacitus, Nero blamed the Christians, executing them en masse to deflect public anger. He then seized the cleared land to build his vast private palace, the Domus Aurea. Whether Nero started the fire remains unproven. That he turned Rome's worst disaster into a personal real estate opportunity is not. 22. Gary Hoy was a senior partner at a prestigious Toronto law firm, a brilliant, respected attorney. On July 9, 1993, he decided to demonstrate to a group of articling students that the windows in his 24th floor office were structurally unbreakable. He ran at the glass and threw his full body weight against it. The glass held. The window frame did not. Hoy fell through the gap and died. He won the Darwin Award that year. The glass, for its part, was completely fine.